Sure.
Hi, I'm Barb De Corti. I'm the founder and CEO of ENJO Australia, and I'm so excited being on the podcast of True Grit. I'm looking forward to share my story with you.
Welcome to Pure Grit with Paula McGrath. If you search the word grit, you'd see that it means to have courage, show strength of character, passion and perseverance. Throughout the series, Paul will chat to guests from all walks of life who have shown pure grit to get to where they are now. Paula, yeah, look, your hair looks fine. I've done the intro, so ready for you to talk now. Yeah, you do your talking thing.
Today's guest on my podcast is one of Australia's most inspirational, formidable and successful entrepreneurs and businesswoman, mum and Ganny, and is the CEO and founder of a company that turns over $100 million a year, empowering thousands of women, and advocate for healthy living from humble beginnings, starting in a garage, mind you, to a huge product, chemical-free and brand, one I love, I use every single day in my home, ENJO Australia. Welcome to Pure Grit Podcast, Barb De Corti. Hi, Barb.
Hi there. Thank you for having me on your program. So exciting.
Oh, Barb, I'm more excited than you. Your story is just absolutely amazing. It's inspirational. Like,
thank you.
Everybody knows ENJO. I mean, I don't know if someone didn't know about ENJO. I don't know where they live, but I've probably been using ENJO for 12 years in my home, and I could never use anything else. But it's just a brilliant story, Barb. Like, was it 1994 you decided to?
Absolutely, 1994 it all began, yes.
And this grew into $100 million a year company. Like, you were a single mum, were you, or married then?
Basically, we came over to Australia a few years before, and I hadn't found my true calling in Australia. My true calling in Europe was, or in Austria was, I wanted to be, or I was an accountant. And I loved it. I know, I loved it.
That's got to help with becoming a very successful businesswoman.
Well, I like things, factual things, you know, and I also like science attached to it. And for me, to convince me that something really works, I really need to be educated. So I'm not spontaneous in that regard, which was a little bit ironic then when I came to Australia, and I actually started out being an aerobics instructor. Because my degree wasn't acknowledged in Australia, I also had a little baby son, and my then husband was working away a lot. And so I needed a job which worked around my child. So that's how I then became an aerobics instructor. And
did you used to wear the high cut leotards then with the real high cut?
Totally, the G-string, the famous G-string. And really bright colors, and the bermed hair, and the you know, literally I was a little bit like Olivia Newton-John in the video. You know, that's how I saw myself. You know.
I'm sure you looked like that too, because I know exactly the look. It would have been the step, and I remember I used to go to aerobics.
Absolutely, and you can imagine how exactly I would have done my aerobics, because from, you know, everything is to a phrase and do a beat, and there would be everybody moving the same direction, you know. So I was always quite bossy, or directional, I would like to call it. But the interesting part was when I then actually had to go into business, being an introvert. Aerobics brought the extrovert out in me, because deep down,
you as an introvert.
Yes, I know. Nobody thinks that. I know, but deep down, I'm an introvert, and I like my own company, and I do not need people around me to recharge. I love people around me, but to recharge, I need to be by myself. And so when I had to teach aerobics, I really had to get out of my comfort zone, because I was the center of attention. never did I realize that this combination, accounting and aerobics, would give me the stepping stones to my ENJO business.
That's amazing.
It's just so fascinating how your past will shape you to your future purpose.
Well, this is what my whole Pure Grit podcast is about. I'm trying to help listeners understand or work out where most successful people think drive comes from. And one of the things I like to research is does it come from your childhood? Do you think, like your parenting, like from the very young beginnings of your life? And I guess, do you believe your drive, your upbringing in Austria was part of who you've become today with your drive and ambition?
I think everybody's past influences the future, but what I found with myself, I constantly amaze myself, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
I have very seldom set out in life to become something.
Right.
I always had a passion and a purpose. So for me, everything has to be attached with passion. I'm a very passionate person. I'm passionate about helping people. I'm passionate about the product I'm selling. I'm passionate about my sport I'm doing. So this is in my DNA. And I can also be passionately destructive, you know. Passion works in both ways, you know. And I'm passionate, stubborn, and things like that. But then I learned to attach it to a purpose. And once I learned this, my outcomes were more purpose-driven and they became more positive.
Wow,
and it's destructive. So it's interesting. My mother was always very forceful, but she was, there was purpose missing. But I learned from one thing I must say I learned from my mother was, and which is good or bad as you want to see it, because she was adorable and I loved my mother to bits, not to be afraid to ask what is yours. Right. And my mother never did this. We had a little farm in Austria, and we had I was one of 8, the oldest of 8. 8 kids, I know. She pumped them out like there's no tomorrow. And then
she did.
No, she did.
Wow.
And again, not thinking it through, but then there's no excuse because she wasn't born in, we didn't live in the 30s where everybody had to. There were options, but she chose the option to have babies. So, which is great. I love my brothers and sisters, but it was hard as a child. Mm. And at the same time, it was exciting too, because it made me into the person I am today, you know. And one of my mother, she was hardworking, but she worked hard, not smart. The neighbors would come, I need, every day they got their milk, their eggs, and then they would owe us the money for 6 months.
Right,
and
okay.
In the meantime, we couldn't go on school excursions, and we constantly got told we were poor. She didn't want to ask for it. So I was only a little one, about 6 to 7 years old, and I went debt collecting. And she had a little book for every person, and we had about 10 to 15 people who picked up food every day, you know, eggs and stuff like that. She baked bread, she made cake. She worked from 4 o'clock in the morning till God knows how long in the evening.
Obviously very generous.
Loved us kids, supported us. So I grabbed the books and I started debt collecting. I mean, I was a bit of an urchin anyway. I was like little Annie. I had a bowl cut. Not much has changed. It's more trendy now. And I was a skinny little thing. And so I went to the neighbors and said, I'm just coming here to collect the money out because mommy is too busy to do so. And it also would help me then to go to an excursion. People would pay me there and then like this and give me pocket money and say, oh, you're such a good girl, have whatever it was,
bit
you
of
know.
Extra. Yeah.
I would collect, so every month I started the money collecting because people felt really embarrassed to say no to a kid. And if they did not react to me, I would say, I still remember standing at the doorway and people said, oh, I haven't got any money today, you know, I haven't been to the bank yet. And then I go like, okay, I come back tomorrow. And I would go back tomorrow and stand there with my little book. So I learned from Mum, you should, what not to do, which is always a good learning, okay? Because she did the best she knew how to do from her upbringing. So
right.
I think I'm a great believer that your parents do the best they can. And then I had a beautiful stepfather because my father died when I was 6 and left us, Mum, with 3 babies and lots of debts. And then I got a stepfather, which was just adorable. And he just passed away a couple of years ago. He was a huge influence on me because he started work at 12. I didn't even finish school. And where he actually ended up, he was calm. He would sit there, do homework with us. And from him, I actually learned patience and appreciation. And so, yeah, I think it's a hybrid DNA plus learning from your parents, so to speak, weaknesses and also taking their strength.
So then you decided how that sort of microfiber cloth, was it your son was asthmatic? Is that?
My son still is asthmatic and asthmatic.
He never grew out of it? No.
He isn't as bad anymore, but there's always a Ventolin puffer at home or at the bag, in the bag. And now his daughter, Grace, who is one of the twins, she got everything he had. Wow. Eczema, she has the asthma. The other twin, really, nothing, absolutely nothing. So it's really quite, they're not identical.
They're not identical.
But Gracie is blue-eyed, blonde hair like her father, and George a brown-eyed brunette and olive skin like her mum. Oh. And it's really quite fascinating. So Mark never grew out of it, but when Mark had asthma, I cleaned like a woman possessed. I used all the cleaning products you can. I bleached, I sanitized. A bit like people do right now, you know, because I thought if I kill everything around my son, he will be safe. Well, lo and behold, I did not know that those chemicals brought on his asthma. So his asthma is triggered by chemicals. Everybody's asthma is different, but his was brought on. And so when I came across these cleaning fibers in Austria, the fiber technology, I went like, no way will this clean as well as what I'm using.
As you do, yeah.
Yeah, because I was doctored. I heard it on the news. I was told by my mom, and the advertising told me if I don't use this particular product, which kills germs and kills mold and does this, I'm not a good mother. And all of us moms and parents, not only moms, we want to be good moms. Yes. So nevertheless, I started testing with it. And I tell you what, within 1 week, his asthma became less because the bathroom I used to bleach the living daylight out of it, the fumes would bring on his asthma. Having not used it, his asthma became less and less and less and less severe. And my house is cleaner than ever, or it was cleaner than ever.
I just think about these times at the moment, Barb, with everyone's so paranoid about COVID, and I'm thinking everyone's just like thinking they're going to use disinfectant. They're cleaning like crazy with all the chemicals, and I'm like, oh no, I don't use any chemicals in my house, but luckily I was aware of it while my son was young, very young, because he doesn't have any. But everyone, a lot of cleaners, and that they do, like they use all these. I can't clean that unless it's all the bleach and the Jif and all the things you use.
It's a lot of educating we still have to do. It's one of the things when you're in a fearful situation like we are now. We do what we get told by the authorities, so to speak. Yes. And I always go like this, and people get so annoyed with me.
Yeah, like by what we're told. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. And I respect it in people. What we found, though, is that more and more people Google now alternatives to cleaning with detergents, which is quite fascinating. We have seen a rise since this pandemic started. And because my marketing team watches that, what is searched more currently. And more people want to go to alternatives. Because I think we do realize if those chemicals would work, we wouldn't have a pandemic. If this disinfecting would work, we wouldn't have a pandemic. Because we would have a cure already for it, because let's just clean and we're going to be fine. But it doesn't quite work like that. Especially a virus is so different to a germ. Yeah. Virus is a total different beast to a germ or a bacteria, So just to go back to Mark, he grew out of it to a certain extent, but still has certain, for instance, he would go to a hotel and the hotel room has been cleaned with harsh chemicals or with a lot of chemicals. It will bring on his asthma. So not as severely anymore as it used to, but out of this reason, my love for ENJO was born. My passion was there.
Did you decide to bring it from Austria to Australia? Like, were you the one who went, you know what, I want to take this to Australia when you came? Wow.
Yeah. Well, I was already living here since 78, so it was about 7-8 years later.
Okay.
But the thing was really, I only wanted to bring it in for myself.
Yes, that's right.
And then people started to ask me, because I didn't set out to become this huge entrepreneur. I just wanted my little family and do my aerobics, do my degree in accounting again, and live in suburbia, little house with a car, go a couple of times a year on holiday somewhere, and
you'd be happy.
And be happy, that was my happiness. But then my father, my paternal father, who died when I was 6 years old, he always said to me, or said to my mum, she will be a teacher when she grows up. And I always used to scoff it when mum told me. I said, oh God, Dad obviously had not enough time to get to know me because I couldn't be a teacher. But I ended up to be one.
You have. Well, you're not a teacher as in a school teacher, but you're a teacher of, how to be sustainable, like chemical-free, clean.
Yeah.
You've taught, my next door neighbour, everyone. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't know that. And they go in the house and oh, you got ENJO like me? Everyone that I know. Oh, you've got ENJO. Oh, you've got ENJO. Like, and then people have come to my house and been fascinated, and then they've gone and I'm going to get that. I love that mop, or I love the way your floors look, and that's just water. That's all I use.
So you become an educator. So you might not be a teacher.
You've taught me. You've taught. Obviously, all your, what do you call them? ENJOpreneurs.
ENJOpreneurs.
Yes.
Those beautiful women out there, and one man. And
one man. Is there one? Only one man.
Yes.
I love it.
And Brendan is absolutely delightful, and he's so popular with the women. He's really quite cheeky and a bit flirtatious, but he speaks he speaks woman. That's what I always say to him. You speak woman. And but most, you become an educator, you become a coach, you become a mentor, because then, of course, the fiber technology took off, and which was great. But my purpose then again went, okay, now where am I now as a woman? I have a business, a successful business.
You started in a garage, because I've seen the photos.
It started in a garage, yes.
Garage.
And it's the old garage story. And it was a 12 square meter garage, not a huge thing like for 10 cars.
No.
And I had 3 wonderful women who joined me straight away because they believed in the product. So we started it together out of the garage, and we said, oh my, I'm going to do a couple of thousand this month. So it came from 10,000 to 50,000, and then it just suddenly became millions. The interesting part was, though,
just like that. I know there would have been a lot of hard work there.
You lose yourself a little bit, and I'm just sharing this as well, because we grew very quickly within 5 years.
Wow.
And suddenly you have so much growth, but you're not ready for that growth. So we grew like crazy, and then it dropped like literally the bottom fell out within a year. And so we, and then we slowly had to adapt and learn new skills. And that's when I actually learned to become a coach and a mentor to the women who joined the business, or the people who joined the business, to teach them business skills, not just selling the product, because the product will actually sell itself once people see it, but teach them how to run a business.
That's right.
Because we all want to be self-employed, but at the same time, we have to have a balance, not have it all. Forget the having all shit. Sorry, I shouldn't be swearing.
No, you can.
It's rubbish. Does not exist. You can have it all incrementally. You cannot at the age of 20 have a 4 or 5 bedroom house, Maserati, and 3 trips a year to Europe, and a balanced work-love relationship. Doesn't happen. It's utopia people are trying to sell you. It's a good movie, maybe. So I needed to teach women, or I started to do training. I always learn new things, and because I learned to actually how to communicate with people so that they saw beyond my success. Because what people say, it's easy for you, Barb. And so they look at somebody successful, they don't always take the advice seriously because they don't know the background. So I had to learn to talk as Barb, and not as Barb the mum and the grandmother now, and not Barb the business person. Because when you run a small business, you do have to have certain business decorum and knowledge.
Yeah, you do.
Your passion will only get you so far. The purpose will only get you so far. But at the end of the day, you need to make a profit. And this is what people very often underestimate. And this is why it's so great when you join an organization like ours, or a business with a direct selling company, because you learn it all along the way, which then sets you up for something you might want to do later on as your own business. And we had that numerous times. We had thousands of women coming through through ENJO, who left with more knowledge than they came.
Right. How did you start producing the product like in such big numbers? Did you have it, because initially you were getting it in from Austria, then obviously did you start like having a factory in Australia, like to start producing all your cloths?
No, what we wanted to do is we wanted to give our customers the best product available. So we did a lot of research. Does it matter if the product is made in China? Does it matter if the product is made in Australia? So once we looked into, because a machine, once you have the machine, it can stand wherever in the world. But one of the things is when we looked at the Asian market, and not just China, because we have to be careful about China nowadays, India, wherever you put the machine, it's also, you have to think who is going to make your product. It might be cheaper, but how does it affect the person on the other side? So all this slavery, or low paid women and men, so that we can purchase something cheaper,
profit.
It didn't sit well with us. So we always looked at the integrity of the product. So we left it in Austria with our manufacturer there. Our manufacturer in Austria has every certificate possible on the planet. Our products, we know the provenance of our product. So we know where our yarn comes from. I know the person in Austria who will sew my products.
Wow.
So there is, and I know how well they paid. I know they have been a family-friendly company. We know the shipping company who ships our products to Australia. No slave labor whatsoever, because this would not sit with our values.
Right. No, it wouldn't sit. Well, I didn't know that, Barb. I didn't, I just get my ENJO. I just got, yesterday I was doing some research and watching some interviews on you, and the buzzer went, and it's my new bathroom, my new bathroom pack of ENJO. It was just weird.
Oh, good. You got the new one.
because it was a special 20% off. I thought, oh, I
Yeah.
better get that.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited because I got my little pack, and it was like, that is so weird. I sat down watching interviews from you and the buzzer went. I wasn't expecting it yesterday. I remember when it was coming. There I was searching it. Oh, here's my little special pack. I was just so, you don't understand the excitement. It's like, yes, get in and use my products. It's
You know,
I had a cleaner. When my son was 13 months old, I had a seizure of some sort, and I ended up in hospital. First time I just stopped breastfeeding, and I was incapable. I had got a cleaner, a lovely girl called Tracy Lee, that's who introduced me to ENJO in detail, because she came in twice a fortnight because I was recovering from what they didn't really know happened to me.
Yeah.
And that's who introduced me to, and she's still to this day, like, introduced lots of people because that's all she was cleaning with. So I was like, wow, look at my bench. Look at my bathrooms. Yeah, that's my bling. That's my bling cloths. Like, it was just, so then I became obsessed with no one could clean like her because she was using your product and no chemicals, which I didn't want with a baby. You don't want chemicals around a baby. I wasn't washing clothes with chemicals. I was always doing, natural products to wash his clothes and things. So that's how I initially, Tracy Lee's mad. She was one of your mad entrepreneurs back in the day, and she still is. She's completely crazy. I think I
remember Tracy Lee. She's absolutely.
She would be the type that would get up on stage if you were having functions. She's like,
she was one of our top entrepreneurs, and
really. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Tracy Lee is. I remember she must have joined us very early in the process of when we started. Because especially those pioneers, those women who helped me to get the product out, to the public. They always stay with you because you're such a small company. You remember your first 50 people, and
she'll love to hear that because she's going through a little bit of a hard time at the moment. Her mum's very, very, very unwell, and I just actually messaged her just before you got on with me to tell her that you were coming on today. She's struggling today. Her mum sounds cancer, of course. It's very, very dire. And I said, come on, out of bed, because she loves surfing. Go down to the surf, look at the ocean, And I said, guess who today? Barb. And she's like, oh, yes, Barb, tell her hi.
Oh, remember Tracy.
Yeah, so she just lives only around the corner from me. So that's who introduced me. And now, of course, everybody I know, like I notice in every house around, I see cloths, and even Josh. Hey, Josh, wife is interested in chemical-free cleaning, isn't she? They're young, they've got a young family.
My wife's just started a little business called Eco Clean. She uses all natural products in her cleaning. She
would love ENJO.
Yeah. So
that's right. He's got to show her.
So yeah, COVID's put a bit of a dent in that, but because she's not going to people's houses, but that's like a little mum job at the moment. So yeah, it's getting pretty popular. So
Tell you, the interesting part with COVID is which we obviously we're a direct selling company and we're dealing with human beings all the time. We have found
what's happened with you, with this time.
And we do digital demos now mainly to existing customers. I mean, we have a database of 1 million people, so we're working, with them on a regular basis. And we actually, because we sell cleaning products, we haven't seen any loss of business or things like it because of and what I love so much is our entrepreneurs work from home and still earn an income. And we are used from working from home as well. We're not used going to an office or so. But you know what it is? What amazes me in those women, you go, I'm fearful for my children. I'm fearful of the uncertainty, but they pick themselves up, and go like, okay, I might be homeschooling. And but we work together on a daily basis. I will have a Facebook lives with them or Zooms every day, half an hour, 15 minutes, whatever we can do. And most of them then, you know what? I have a bigger responsibility because people need to clean more now than ever. I want them to clean with ENJO, which cleans 6 times better than any detergent out there. And this is actually proven because I do not prove things which have not been proven. That's the fact person in me. Has been tested in Austria and by a scientist and everything, so measured everything. So we know we clean 6 times better. So even if people feel the need, they have to disinfect. Disinfect by all means, if it makes you feel better, especially if you have somebody who has corona. So, but we just went back to our customers. They supported us. We trained them how to do digital demos, and a lot of them are doing so well now. Wow. And we also have new people joining us because people are out of a job, and so they are not
now. They can have a job from home.
Exactly, yep. And they're not certain, will I get my job back when this pandemic is over? Will companies have changed? You know, it could be 6 months. So that really, that is one of the passion I have, is really helping women and men as well, but I'm talking like basically 99.999% of women, to achieve that the balance they want. Be home when your child comes home.
That's right.
Home educate your kid, you know, just work 15 minutes a day and you can still have other things. So we help them to break it down.
You would work all day, every day, I'm sure. You must be busy from the minute you get up. What is your motivation? You have to switch off, surely. I know that you love running, which I do too. So that's my time, especially for me. I just need to go for a run because there's
that's basic. That's
no phone, no anything.
Yeah.
I think you run a lot more than me, Barb. I think you run.
Well, I'm a bit of a long distance person. Anything for me, everything for me is a marathon. I do not like sprints. I like to get stronger as I go along, but everything for me is. And I don't give up quickly either. For instance, I learn something new and it doesn't work the first time for me. I don't go like, I need to do something else.
Yeah.
I'm very much, okay, I try again. Third time I try and improve along the way. Have a look where I need to improve. And I'll give you an example. This morning I was out and it was about, I think, 7 degrees.
Oh.
So I go outside.
What time was that?
I was out about 4:45.
I was going to say, yeah.
So I go outside in my pajamas on my balcony and go like, how does the weather feel? Okay, it's cold today. So I don't want to go outside and be underdressed and hope I'm going to be okay. Yeah. That's not me, you know?
Very prepared. Outside, okay. Very prepared.
I'm prepared, exactly, because I have learned that, you know.
What month are you born?
I'm on 1st of January. I'm a Capricorn.
Oh, you're a Capricorn, no wonder.
Yeah, I know. It's such an intense star sign.
Yeah.
And all the Capricorns get me, you know.
Yep. Yeah, I thought you were going to say that.
Yeah.
So driven.
You know a little bit about astrology, first.
So then do you go exercising when you first get up? Is that why you go?
Every day.
Every day.
Without fail. Every day.
And how far would you run?
The day was only 15.
Only.
And
only 15. Oh.
Yeah, in context of but get this. I get out and I start running and I really thought I can't be asked today. I was only a K in and no, I actually said I can't be effed.
Yeah.
And
can't
to myself.
Yeah.
Can't be effed. And then I was running along, and this is how my brain works, and running along, how can I change the F word to something more nicer? So by the time I figured it out, I was gone another 500 meters. And by K2, you are warmed up. And And so I play mind games in my head, and I write emails, some really nasty emails, what I really want to tell people. And by the time I have finished, it's deleted.
Dear, get it.
Yeah. And then, and things like that. But it's planned, 15K run is planned today. I will do a 15K run. I might do it slower and so on. But today I was literally, my bottom was scraping on the tarmac, and I was thinking, what's going on with it? And it was all up here.
Mental.
And no, I wasn't. Once I started having the conversation with myself, are your legs tired? No. Are you unfit? No. Did you have too little sleep? No. And then, so what is it about? Lift yourself up, straighten up, and just go. And this is just, I do a lot of self-talking.
While you're running.
Because I want to be the best version of myself, for myself.
That's one thing we have, actually. I'm in no way like you, but I'm like you in that way. When I run, I do the same self-talk, same motivation. It's my time. Think about things. Think, okay, I've got to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to write this. I'm going to actually ask that person. If you don't ask, you don't get. I talk to myself. If you don't ask, you don't get. And I do all this. But I can't. How have you never had any injuries running that far? And
I have a whole village to keep me healthy, to be quite honest. I have 3 physiotherapists. One is my running coach, one is my strength coach, and one is my physio to keep me all going. I have a personal trainer who makes sure I do all the exercises. It's not so. Again, this is this factual human being, like this OCD person. I surround myself with people who help me to be the best version. I have a team in here at ENJO, which is second to none.
Wow.
This company is only as strong as it is now because of my staff.
The staff,
and you can have the best ideas in the world and have the most amazing passion for something, but it's the people around you who keep you grounded, who go like, this is overkill, Barb, or that is so 1980s. We need to bring it into 21st century. So when you're surrounded by people like that, this is really, this is gold. And I have gold in that.
Because I can be a bit like my passion, my career has came along with focus of, I just knew what I wanted to do, and people and interviewing and having that little bit of humour. I always knew what I from young. My mum was had 4 kids and single mum. Like my mum and dad broke up when I was 8, and there was 4 of us kids. I was the baby, so she always said, "You can be whatever you want to be." Yeah. When I was young, I wanted to be a toffee. I wanted to sell toffee apples because they were my favourite things to have as a treat. So I was like, I'm going to sell toffee apples one day. But I got to the stage where I knew what I wanted. My brother knew from 2. And he stayed with his career choice from 2 years old, which he was first said, something about planes, he's going to fly planes. And he did. And it was probably from mum, I think. But I drifted off and travelled the world first. But, you sort of, I can be creative and I can get distracted. And this is now, it's taken me probably 11 years. I first 11 years ago, working in radio and TV, did my first podcast before podcasting even existed. So it was way too early because I wanted a different medium to talk and interview people. And I started that like 11 years ago. There was no such thing. It's like, talk about taking my time to get back to what I actually loved. But I am. I'm here. And I go, and it's a sort of a great time because people are at home at the moment. It just fell into place sort of at a right time. But I love running like you, Barb, but I broke my neck when I was 19. So I'm running. I run 5K. 10K, I do 10K for the new, like I go on the triathlons, I do the run bit. But I'm supposed to not try and run off-road more, but I just still do. And now I'm going to work back to 10K. Because I now, being older, suddenly the injury, I'm starting to get the disc pushing on my spinal cord. So I've got needles in me everywhere at the moment, but I am struggling with a bit of nerve pain because I need neck surgery, basically. So I'm doing everything to not. But yesterday I still ran 5K. But I'm still happy. You know what? I'm still running.
Absolutely.
And
be super proud of yourself. You know what? It's not about the distance. We all have our different journeys.
But I want to get back to further, Barb. Like I want to get like you, where I can.
Yeah, but that's in our DNA. We always want to have a bit more.
Have you ever had any health challenges?
I had an Achilles issue, but no, never. I had nothing. I really touch wood. I'm a good farm girl. They made us sturdy.
You make them strong.
Strong cows.
And genetics.
I have no allergies, nothing. And so sometimes I just say nothing when people are around me, and I know I'm 57 years old.
You're amazing. No plantar fasciitis ever from running? What shoes do you wear, Barb, running?
Oh, depends. I wear the Infinity ones from Nike currently. I love those new ones. Then I run in Brooks. I run in Asics.
So you
whatever.
Change.
I change. Yeah, I actually run with 3 pairs a week.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, for instance, when I go for a short run, I run with my short run shoes. If I do my 21Ks, I do my longer ones, because it's,
Josh,
again.
It's a mere 21K, just like that, Josh. Yeah. Amazing. So
have
you run a marathon? Have you run a marathon?
Yes, I have a few, yes.
How many?
3 or 4 or something like that.
Wow.
I was down for
Would
Chicago.
You do it again? Will you do it?
Yeah, absolutely. This year I had planned to run Chicago because I want to run all the six majors. But with the travel, not being...
Can't, probably. Have you run the Boston? Have you run the Boston Marathon?
That would have been the next one because I wanted to qualify in Chicago for Boston. So what I'm doing, I will run the Perth one if they put it on in October to qualify for Boston in Perth.
You're amazing, Barb.
No, I'm just a planner.
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm just so old. I trained from, it's. I never go from 0 to hero. As I said, I'm a slow burner. I really am. It's really.
Tell me, what are you running? What are your Ks? What minute Ks do you do? Like, and tell me, make me like a.
I'm not that fast. I'm doing 5:20 on the long run.
For like 21 Ks, you run that fast? You're amazing.
Yes. But again, I learned over time. This didn't just come. I mean, I have been a runner all my life. I was a cross-country runner in school. I was always very good. I have fast switching. I have the muscles. I'm very narrow build. I have the physique of a runner.
Not like me. I got to drag around my big butt.
Oh,
big hips.
Come on, be kind to yourself.
No, I am. I'm just happy. I'm happy I can actually do what I can at the moment. Like,
I can still. We're all different.
I'm happy I can still do my 6K. The other day I did 6K. I go, I'm going to work back up to 10, but slowly because I've got to be careful of, I've just got to do
incrementally.
Yeah.
And listen to the body. If the body says no, for instance, last week I was only supposed to run a 10K. Didn't feel it in the morning. Did not feel it. I was tired. I was sore, and I went, okay, I'm having the day off. My body says no to it.
Recover.
And also, when you're tired, this is when you injure yourself.
That's right.
We can't be tired 4 or 5 times.
If you're limping, you end up getting an injury. Barb, do you have a life motto that you love, or something that you live by, or a saying, or?
What I always say to my team, everything is possible. We just haven't figured out how yet.
I love that.
That's as simple as it is. And when COVID-19 came out, everybody went into, oh my God, what are we going to do? We're going to close down for 2 months or around. And I said, nah. We're just going to figure out how we're going to grow during this period, because we're selling cleaning products, guys. We are not selling makeup. We are not selling things people don't need. People need our products. We need to take this opportunity. It's not opportunistic. We need to take this opportunity and grow.
Wow. So speaking of makeup, what do you use on your face? Do you use mineral makeup? Like, what do you use?
I like really, I wear Terry. It's just one of Mecca's makeup. It's a mineral one, mineral oil.
Like me, I use mineral as well.
I stay as natural as much as I can because I just think my skin loves it better. You know, it was not so much a conscious decision. I always find
you got amazing skin. You've got amazing skin. You got the beautiful European skin.
Yes,
I've got a bit of a sun bash living in Queensland on the Sunshine Coast. It's so much sun.
Yeah,
but I love the sun.
But I also have olive skin, you know, so which it makes it a bit better, and very good makeup on today.
You got beautiful makeup. You look beautiful. So, Barb, what about music? Do you listen to music when you run, or nothing when you run?
It depends on the day. Again, I listen to podcasts.
Oh, what's your favorite podcast? What's your favorite podcast?
Oh, but depends what I get given by my personal trainer. My personal trainer is a podcast guru.
Wow.
I was just listening to one about the Menzies government, you know, the Prime Minister. And
that's heavy while you're running. Is that to just keep your mind off?
I just listen to it, you know, and I just joke along, you know, especially if I'm not going for time.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, sometimes I get lost in it. And, you know, I like a lot of culture, like history and music. And then when I'm music, and my favorite song I have to share this with you is High Hopes by Panic at the Disco. And I came across the song, I think in 2008 or something like that. And it's just the most amazing song because it always says, you know, my mama said, you have to have high hopes. And my mom always said to me, as a woman, learn to stand on your own feet. So whatever happens in a relationship or wherever you end up.
Here, Barb. I totally hear
It's exactly it. You need to be able to stand on your own feet. And I wanted to become a hairdresser, and I would have been a good one too because I really have a bit of a knack, you know, for hair. But she said to me, just think about it, Barb. What would people do when they run out of money? What's the first thing they do? They start saving on hairdressing and all those things. Of course, at the time, they will still, you know, go to the hairdresser once a week, have their hair set, and then they would be for another week.
That big hair setting dryer.
Exactly. So she said, now think about something people always will need. And then I wanted to become a nurse, and but my family didn't have the money for me to go to university. So I then decided I'd do something where with numbers, because I was very good in mathematics and all those things. And I did an apprenticeship where basically it's a little bit like technical college as well, attached to it. So I worked somewhere, earned a little bit of income. I earned $50 a month, and I thought I was rich.
Yep.
And I saved it like I was rich, you know. It's like I was saving up for, because I always liked fashion and things like that. So so when you know, my mama said you have to have high hopes, that song, so it really appealed to me. And each time I always have it on all my running lists. And when that song comes on, I go just in a zone for 3 minutes.
For that whole song.
Yeah. And when I run a marathon, it is my last song on the playlist.
Wow.
So I know my last 500 meters.
Is that
my mom is going to be with me, that song is going to be with me, and and I will always do that K, the fastest K from all the other Ks.
Wow, you have made I'm sure your mum so proud. She would be
she's amazing. Unfortunately she has passed now, but
she'll be smiling down. She'll be right there with you when you're running that last K.
She would, and she would go like,
what is it like now being a multi-millionaire? It's like how do you always look back from where you have been, like just or do you?
I'm actually, in many ways, I'm still there. I go to Europe, to my family. You can just purchase more things. It makes life, does money make you happy?
I think it makes it easier.
It makes it easier.
Yeah.
And when things are easier, sorry, my phone is pinging away. Yeah.
I'm sure
when things are easier, of course, it makes you happier.
Yeah.
So,
and so it should. You deserve it, Barb. Like, you deserve it.
But my family, I love sharing with my families, and to being able to share that wealth with your family. This is great. We go skiing together, or we have holidays together, and
spoil your grandkids. All the things.
Yeah, exactly. They are so adorable anyway.
I can just imagine. Barb, it has been my absolute, I'm just in awe of you. Like, I was very excited that you said you would come on Pure Grit podcast, because you are the epitome of pure grit to me. Like, you are it. Like, my
Thank
podcast.
You.
I wouldn't have met you if I didn't do this podcast. So it was meant to be. Because you are just unbelievable. And 3 cheers to Barb, because you have done amazing things, and thank you. You're in my home, so part of you is in me. Thank you very much. And thank you for sharing your wisdom. I'm sure a lot of your ENJOpreneurs are going to have a listen in.
I'm sure they will.
I hope they do, and they enjoy the podcast. Thank you so much, Barb.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hello again. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that episode. Please, if you like what you see, subscribe, like, share. Look at my website if you want to have a look around, puregrit.com.au, all my socials. But don't miss a thing. If you subscribe, you won't, because next week is CEO and founder of one of Australia's biggest talent management, Mark Morrissey. He's been instrumental in the rise to fame of Chris Hemsworth, Liam Hemsworth, Jai Courtney, Katie Ritchie, Carl Stefanovic, that's on Channel 9. He is brilliant. He tells the story of overcoming with a lot of grit to get where he got to today. Tune in and listen to Mark Morrissey. See you then.